That's why I love Juan. Juan Eugenio Ramirez is our local library. What I mean by that is that he's always there, and it's always in him. His knowledge of language, culture, and literature is astounding, and sometimes I wonder how he holds it all in, but then I realize that he doesn't. It's all there in his poetry. He's a teacher, and he's always willing to share. He shares his history on the page, and he shares himself in person. I figured out a few weeks ago that his poetry is a blend of expansive and microscopic, and his poems that contain everything. Please help me in welcoming Juan Ramirez to the stage.
Thank you to my peers for letting me read. Jeffrey, Joanna, Tatiana, and Nakai. Thank you, Claire. Your violence is beautiful. Thank you, Professor Ellis, for filling in such a short notice. And thank you to all my professors for making this experience at Sarah Lawrence the height of my adult life so far. So let's read some poems. I want to dedicate this reading to my great-grandpa, Papa Juan, a Puerto Rican barber. They used to call him El Trece, it means the 13th, because he beat the shit out of a man with a billiard ball at the number 13 at a bar one time. And my great-grandma, Elizabeth Weyer, a German ballet dancer, who performed with the Ziegfeld Follies. All right, so this is from a piece called The Gladesman Fire. The epigraph is the opening line from Die Walküre by Wagner. Wesher dies Haus sei, hier muss ich rasten, which means, whosoever owns this hearth, here must I rest. Das Herr, dies Haus sei hier, muss ich rasten. The Gladesman Fire. We are, as atoms born from cosmic sneeze, divided endless polynomials of seed corn spread among furrows, some for the crows and some for the sun to parch, others for the construct of I in terminal encasings. What smells is nothing natal but a remembrance of language on the tongues of us and the will to conquer monolithic spawn children from dust. Teach maggots how to bloom into perfect spheres of incandescent pearls, to light nights spent on humid patio gardens discussing consanguinity, monthly bills, and the weather. It is natural to love bougainvilleas and bromeliads without understanding why they grow. Baptism, frightened Stonewall in a dream coffin, felt like an ox drowning in a rice pad. Kneeling beside our deer shot through its pulmonary artery, Stonewall and I skinned before the flies conceive, buck knife the carcass, collect blood, the round that broke the rib collapsed the lung. Stonewall doesn't kill things pregnant, but plays in the mud and makes castles. Breeze collects decayed martyrs, engage killing hogs and humans. Metal grinds, chopped meat ballad from belt-fed machine guns. Claymore, Claymore, I see the light. Stonewall skins a buck, up an oak, sings a threnody. Cold hands holding a 30-06, and old crow in the head, pious after drinking from a rock. The devil, Dogma minstrel. Stonewall sits in his corner, sipping Southern Comfort, six-shooter in his coat pocket. Call him the marmoset gator hunter, wipes his beard on his sleeve, watching Lydia kiss her new husband. I don't remember hacking this body up, but I was there and saw you cut a hole in her forearm. You're the beast wearing bloody ankle socks. You wear them like puppets and make yourself laugh. Stonewall returns to the nursery, works on avocado trees. The devil is kneeling in the field, singing a mighty fortress. Squash blooming out of the ground. Stonewall tries to ignore the music. What is the profundity of seabirds found in their taste for raw fish, in their sharp angular descents, or in drafts of warm air as they climb the three-dimensional space of infinite integers? Between ocean and the florid spectacle of space, brown pelicans and cormorants with long hooked bills congregate near landing docks, squabbling in bird language. A thin film of diesel fuel on the water surface makes an iridescent, rippled trail. Blue eye set against an orange lower, yellow beak on a black head. Their meat tastes fishy, and the yolk of their eggs feels like hot phlegm hardened in the mouth. I was killed in a dream because I played Pa's mandolin and made his teeth rattle. Mules wore muck shoes as they plowed the wet marl through mosquitoes, readied the summer planting. The dogs chased me down cypress hammocks. Sawgrass skinned me like a medieval flagellant, and I realized hunters lack meaning without the kill, and so they kill again. And the kill tongued the night air one last time, collected moisture that would not become the morning's dew. Geography of field and marsh. I watched men smoke as they gutted the remains of a house, using iron crowbars and sledgehammers, striking in dissonant synchronicity, clothes flecked with drywall. The hibiscus grew larger on the church garden trellis. Carambolas fell from their trees and sprung like gold birds as they struck the earth. Late, the star machine clothed the sky, and its immensity was my mind's armature within the ambit of my sleeping body. If a mustard seed can move a mountain, then we are all deceived. And it'd be better to learn the cosmology of blue herons. I was killed in a dream because I played Pa's mandolin, and he scratched at his pith, exposing epochs of layered limestone, and his back writhed on the marl. Near the grass river, a herd of squealing hogs ate cattail root, and Pa ran among them, sunk into the slough, taking the hogs, and then nothing but the susurration of the wind in the sawgrass. The smell underneath the woman's wrist makes Stonewall hard and steam under heaving sheets, and his body in the room comes into consciousness. Pillows tossed from the bed, television on with the morning programming. He wouldn't smell her again, but keep her stained underwear. Stonewall sits up naked, eats last night's chicken, and afterwards shaves. The only Latin he knows is Saepe Pecamos. Stonewall sits in his banyan tree temple of strangler fig, cinnabar columns, one's life oak, Florida, older than any paganism. A young satrap crowned with leaves. The woman keep the children, and the man is a set of machinations configured against himself. Or a D8 bulldozer busting up limestone with its rock plow. Stonewall says, I'd much rather have been a stillborn ibis egg, but I'm a variable graft on our Cartesian plane, and my dick is a parabola. All right, and I got two more poems, that's it, and I'm done, and thank you. These next two poems are from my brother. He's a captain, the U.S. Army Special Forces, and this is for him. It says, Homecoming. Your smile pours with the gods, now a curved lake, burning this hecatomb. Glaciers heavy move stranger under moraine Afghan snow. Ascend heaven in square black sail triremes, down master, cold arm assailant, an infantryman's spear. Your home reach shores, welcome waiting with garlands and beer. Morning ride to bargain town, eat ox and corn under blue tarps, wind in the palms. Then is a man learns calm care for orchids and perennial flowering bodies. Teach sons to play baseball. You and I will not live to see the next century, but our bellies, our arms, soldiering is an art, is inevitable for the historian who has never held a rifle. Home amongst bones, horses, when the war smell carried on a single sniff, blood questions, sands across generations. Let's go heraldic into family portraits, masquerade as strangers, feel natural doing so. The turn, our bread, wine, a bowl burning fat, our children held fast to a stone, and no rampiers or a stray dog, perhaps, this child and man, no option for fire, for sun mutilation, the great leap, a punchline of remonstrance, fooled, death barricade. We die with this, and from our Father cease to be. And this is my last poem, and joy for their master who has come home. She knew all strangers, their tongues spooned them from the same dish, gave them great capitulation, saw them pasturing flocks in the desert, an open field or plain, sprawling iron by a brother's hand. Brother slept and the grass cried. Father, a vacant man, those hands enlisted in the army to patch holes, move over, through, or around obstacles, accepted minefields. Now it is threat doctrine to attach tripwire to the back of mother's dress, dive like some finite nightingale on its last swoop. I dreamt the Leviathan leaping backward out of the water over the green wall of an iceberg, a sphere without a surface. Who will recite the Lord's primordial war machine, found in the black soil, a man's jawbone, decompose, rename the senses in a country of parallel vineyards at the cost of a chai boy's limb. Thank you.